Oh, what's up, everybody? How is everyone doing tonight? This is officially the rebirth of Go Live. I
Like
am
a
Klutz
phoenix, right?
Leo, aka Jason Germino. To my left, I guess it's gonna be your guys' left too. Uh, this is the story of a man named Brady. Um, some of you may know
It's the
him
good one.
as Phantom Nimbus on Discord. Some of you may know him as Bono Games on
Yeah, no, we need
Twitter.
to unify this
And
stuff.
yeah, and then how many other names you have?
Winged Boaks was one I've been using for a long
Winged Bug.
time,
There
but
you go. That's another one. How are you doing tonight, sir? Are you
that's
doing all right?
I'm doing great.
Are you
I'm doing
excited?
fantastic.
We're
Very
we're
excited.
bringing
Got
this
some
back.
great stuff to talk about.
It should be fun. It should be great. So
Uh,
we
Like I said,
need
I'm gonna try not to hijack the whole thing for discussion about how terrible Blades is, but
Matt's gonna get online and he's just gonna rage
yeah,
quit so hard because he's in love with
I'm
that
waiting.
game for some reason. I can't
I'm,
say anything
I'm
about
waiting.
it because my phone is 5 years
Oh
old and
yeah.
it won't play. It won't play that game. So anyway,
Oops.
we used to have this podcast and we're doing it weekly. Like Matt and I, Brian, and whoever else we can literally drag in with us. We were doing this weekly and we kind of burnt out on it. And I think everyone else got burnt out on it as well. So we're gonna go
Yeah.
maybe once a month, maybe bi-monthly. If there's a ton of news, maybe E3 may do more, just to kind of keep up with everything. But we're gonna
Oh yeah.
test it. I want you guys to let us know how you guys feel about it. But right now we do have a poll up. If anyone's in the audience, I think most people have probably already done it. If you exclamation mark vote 1 2 3, you're voting or getting polled on whether the Epic Game Store is good or bad. One for good, two for bad, three for don't care. I will actually just copy and paste this in there again. And those who are just listening afterwards, I apologize. You have no idea what we're talking about. But hey, join us next time and you'll kind of see what's going on. So this will come up in our later discussion. So this is where we're going to kick it off. So first things first, I want to thank everyone for this last month. The month of March was a huge month for us. It was the first official month where we streamed every single friggin' day in March, rain or
Yeah.
shine. People were swapping days because life came up, but we managed it. Metrovania Madness was I feel is a success. We had some good runs. We had some guests show up and hang out with us. We had a couple races go on. Um,
Yeah, some of the speedrunning stuff was pretty cool to see too.
yeah, it was really
Like the
impressive.
chasm runs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That was a
yeah.
good one.
Maxion did great with the chasm runs. Blue Nile popped in from Paradigm Gaming. He showed us is it Samus Returns? I can't never remember. One's Samus Returns and Return of Samus. I can't remember which one's
Yeah,
the new
and
and which one's the old one.
he was streaming with that like the special modified
Yeah, the
console to actually
modified
get
3DS, so he can actually stream. It had like a USB
that
port. That was
was
cool.
yeah.
Concake showed up and did some Super Metroid randomizer. Apothic Cthulhu. I can always screw his name up. He came and beat two Castlevania games in an hour and a half. Like I was streaming something, he's like, "Hey, I can help you," and then I stopped streaming, and then he finished the stream and beat two Castlevania games. It blew my mind.
That's crazy.
And then we had a race between J Machine and Hux and I. Zeo Drifter. J Machine beat the hell out of us. That was great. Um, and what else?
And
What
we
was
got
the
to play
last thing
through
we did?
Axiom Verge too.
Yeah, you beat Action Verge. I
Oh,
beat
love
Metroid
that
1 and
game.
2. Buff Nerd, Chris beat Castlevania Circle of the Moon. Like, we did
Oh
good. It
my
was fun. I
gosh.
think we did a good job.
The
We got some good followers, and we're
the amount of
climbing our
fighting
way.
he had with that game
It
was
took
pretty
him
epic.
all month, but he did it. You have to give him the props. He
He
finished it.
did. He came
He
through.
came through strong. He
It
handled the
was a little
business,
ridiculous.
and we're good. I apologize for the background. I realize it's like ghosts out, and then it kind of dims, and it comes back again. I apologize, but hey, we'll figure it out later. This is all for fun. Anyway, coming up, so we're gonna kind of go over what we've been playing now, like between the both of us. Um, I am currently been playing Townsman. It's a review I'm working on for the PC. It's kind of like a city builder type of game. Golem Gates is I don't know how to explain this game.
Yeah, I've heard of this a couple times, but I haven't really stopped to
It
actually look into it very
it's
much.
kind of like a city builder, but very limited, and it's like a card based builder, and you're playing. It's kind of like a mix between Command and Conquer, Diablo and card games.
Huh.
It's kind of hard to say. It's not bad. And then I started playing Risk of Rain 2, which has been beyond amazing lately.
Yeah, it's top of my list too. Is Risk of Rain 2. That game is it like I've been having a lot of fun with it, but then we did the stream the other night where it was like Yumi and Baba up here, and it was
that game
was way better in multiplayer.
It was a blast. Yeah, even though I kind of dragged everyone down because it was the first time I played. It was fun. It was really fun. Like I wish there was like a revive feature, which I think could be even more insane because you're gonna basically die anyway by reviving those people because literally there's like 50,000 people on screen just looking.
Well, especially if you'd have to like stand still in a spot or something like that. That's could easily be a death sentence.
Yeah, but that was fun, and I can see that game. I hopefully they clean it up a little bit and they just make it better because I mean I don't know what else they can add to it. Maybe more areas. More enemies.
Yeah,
it feels like it's almost already like the first one.
So I jumped back into the first one on Switch because I was like I'm liking this game. It'd be good to have it mobile because I use my Switch almost daily on the bus to and from work, which is like a good hour and a half, 2 hours of gaming a day.
Yeah, that's good.
It kind of sucks, but the Switch has helped that a lot. But yeah, Risk of Rain, returning to that one, I feel like I'm actually better at that game having played Risk of Rain 2 now.
Yeah.
I've just been having a lot of fun with that, but I also realized there was item I got in Risk of Rain 2 actually insta revives you once on death.
Oh,
that was kind of a nice item to have.
That'd be sick.
Yeah,
was that like a rare one, like one of those orange ones?
It was. It just popped up out of nowhere, and I was like, that's the first time I've seen it in all the runs I've done so far.
And you used it, of course.
Oh, it auto uses it for you, and yes, it didn't hang around very long.
Okay, what else have you been playing?
Also Division 2. I'm plucking away at that little bit by little bit. Mostly playing solo most of the time. And I know a lot of people are kind of iffy on the solo aspect, saying that it's like not as great solo.
Yeah.
But I've actually been doing pretty well with it. But I've started to spec into like dropping a turret robot and then like also using the gas that can kind of zone out enemies. And it becomes a game of like trying to set up stuff to watch your flanks while you're shooting at the enemies.
That's pretty slick.
Otherwise, you'll get hard flanked all the time by the AI.
Yeah, I haven't played that in probably a couple of weeks, but I've been enjoying it. Like people kind of ragged on it, but it's been fun. Just like time waster. Like I'm gonna go. I have 30 minutes. I'm just gonna go clear out this whole area. And it's been fun. It's been really good.
Yeah, I haven't been trying to like push it like super hardcore gameplay or anything like that. I've just been. It's something I jump in, do a couple missions, do a couple of things around the world, and then hop out for the night.
You're not min-maxing your character and
no,
going
and it feels
into PvP.
awesome to do that. Because when Destiny 2 dropped, that's what it was. I was trying to get up to raid ready. You got to get raid ready. You got to get all your gear up to the top gear score as fast as you can, and it burns out so fast in games like that if you do it that way.
I'm sure people already burnt out on Division 2. I mean, I don't think there's been any content since it released, so I'm sure people already hit end game already.
Yeah, I think they're actually just dropping another update that's going to put in a new specialization for endgame. Apparently, when you get endgame, you get specialization weapons, and I think they're putting in a minigun. I heard.
Oh shit, that'd be cool.
One of the specialization weapons.
I'd be okay with that.
And I think they're adding some other new stuff that just dropped recently, either today or tomorrow or something like that.
I'm gonna have to keep out on that. And what else? Anything else you wanna?
A couple games
without raging already in this early.
Yeah, so I put down. I'm playing Elder Scrolls Pocket Camp.
Pocket Camp.
I don't know if you ever played Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah, I played that.
It feels like. I don't know. The only way I can describe it is it feels like they tried to make an Elder Souls game, but they took out all the souls of it, or Elder Scrolls.
They sucked the soul out of it.
It's heartless now, and it's.
That's funny.
I don't know. It's just little bite-sized dungeons you walk through and stuff, and I don't know.
Okay, we'll go into that deeper then. We'll go into that deeper later.
The other two I was just gonna quick mention Crunker.io. Have you heard of this?
What is Crunker? What I think it is? Is it based off a crunk? Like, are you like ghetto blasting around with a boombox and like crunking things?
Absolutely not.
Oh no, shit! I don't want to play. I don't even want to know about it then.
It would be great if they had like dancing emotes or something, but it's like if you took Roblox or something and then put in like Call of Duty into it, but it all plays in your browser. So it's you're running around playing like a mix of Counter-Strike / Call of Duty, but everything's like simple blocks and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's really weird, but it's all fun. Runs in your browser. and it works really well actually.
So you're saying I need to go to work and make sure it's blocked for the kids?
Yeah,
make sure
just check and make sure
they're
it's
not
blocked.
raging on it. Ugh.
That, and I was playing Thumper last night on stream.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool one. I think I rage quit. I think I have it, but I never dove into it. 'Cause after a while, I got so
honestly
pissed.
Thought I was gonna stream that for like 20 minutes and be like, I can't play this anymore. But I got weirdly into it. I don't know if I'm just too tired or something, but it was working for me.
Ugh, that's funny. So I want to dive into like I have it labeled as most anticipated for 2019, but it really could be anything. So there's a lot of games that have came out so far they've been really good already. But I'm talking about in the future. The first one I listed here is Satisfactory. That's an early access game. I really want to see where it goes because a lot of people have been really hyped on it, and like we have a couple people on our Discord that have been loving it and going crazy on it. I really want to see. I really want to see where it goes. Like, is this gonna take off like Minecraft, or is this gonna be like Factorio, whatever it's called, where people get really crazy and they get really elaborate systems and it kind of putters out. But this seems like it has a much more has an option to be more in depth because you have a whole world and you have enemies you can fight. And you have like people were I was watching videos. People are riding on like the manta rays. They found a way to shoot themselves up. And they're like cruising around on the aliens and stuff on top. It's insane. Nice. So that's one game I really want to see. I just want to see where it takes off. I'm probably going to buy it. My birthday's coming up. I'm like, I'm probably going to pull the trigger because I really want to play it. Another big one.
Been on the fence about it.
I know. When I get it, I'll probably put it on the GameOctane account so we all can play it. Just so we can play it. Another huge one I really want to see take off is Mortal Kombat 11. I can't believe there's already been a ton of Mortal Kombat games, and this one just looks silly, insane, and I love watching. I'm not very good at playing fighting games, but I really want to see the combos that people can set off and like the tournaments that come out of it. That's always the funnest part. Crash Team Racing's making a return. That looks going to be amazing. Super Mario Maker 2. I had the first one. I was really terrible at it, but they're adding so much more to the second one, which probably could have just been an update or like a DLC pack for the first one, but they need to sell more of them. So they're going to do that. Yeah. Borderlands 3, obvious. Outer Worlds looks really good. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I really enjoyed the first two, especially because they had online co-op and you can just be Captain America and throw your shield before you can get into the room and knock out like 10 dudes before you get in there. Nice. Psychonauts 2, I absolutely love the first one, so I'm super hyped on that one. Cyberpunk 2077, a lot of people saw that in E3 last year for the first time and just blew everyone's mind. And the one I'm really interested in, I don't know if it's coming out this year, but Starfield it's like Bethesda's first original IP in like 20 years or something like that. It's like a space RPG. That's all they have. They have a logo. That's all they have. They haven't explained anything else besides a space RPG. And I want to see what happens. I don't think it's going to come out this year, but I want to see like what it's about compared to like Cyberpunk and all these other RPGs that are going to be coming out this year.
I'm interested to see how it releases. Probably less so than like what the game is going to be, but how they
Starfield 76
kind of tries to write things a little bit. Because there was also like, didn't they do Mass Effect Andromeda too, which had a real rocky start release for their sci-fi attempt, and it was, I don't know, I'm interested to see what it's going to look like when it releases and how that launch is going to go.
We don't have any words, so I don't think it's coming out this year, but I want to see more.
Yeah, I feel like my list of the anticipated is much more indie than that. I got Satisfactory because it looks pretty awesome, like a No Man's Sky meets Factorio or something like that.
Yes, that looks awesome.
And it's like that looks interesting.
I love the animations. Like I was watching people play. Yeah. Like every little robot or device has some sort of different animation. It just blows my mind that they took the time to get that detailed in the animation. And I feel to me like if you take that much detail in that, the rest of the game is just going to be amazing because the detail should be across the board. In theory, it should be across the board.
Well, it's like it reminds me a lot of little things from like what is that, Astroneer as well. The one where it's like a survival game on a planet where it's like you hook up things with power and you basically grab a power cable out of one thing and kind of drag it around and click it into something else. It looks like that, but now it's like conveyor belts so you're moving around and stuff.
Oh, that's so good. I want to play it. I may buy it by the end of this thing.
But speaking of Super Mario Maker 2, there's actually one on Steam that's going to be hitting early access. It's called Levelhead.
Okay.
It's by the people that did Crashlands.
Okay.
And it's
That's
sort
right,
of a
yes.
similar thing, where it's basically a maker game like that, where you play platforming levels, but then you go in and you can make all the levels, and they have curation and stuff. I've been listening to their podcast because it's kind of like half game dev, half game news talk and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. But it's interesting all the stuff they talk about in there and how they're trying to like problem solve some of the systems that were a little janky in Mario Maker 1 and all that. But,
Oh, there was a lot of Jake in Mario 1, that's for sure.
and then there's 3 Switch games that I'm looking forward to. Crosscode is coming to Switch this year, which I was super excited about.
That game's already out, right?
It's out on PC right
That's
now.
right. That's what I thought. Okay.
But for the longest time, they were saying they can't port it to Switch. The technology they built it on doesn't port to Switch. And then finally, I guess they worked it out, and now they're getting it onto the Switch. So
That's awesome.
I'm super excited about that. It's basically like a MMORPG, but it's a single player game that emulates an MMO. It's kind of meta like that, but it's real good. And then Killer Queen Black is still slated for 2019. I hope that's coming out.
Okay. Because I have no idea what that one is. I don't think I ever read on that one.
That is Killer Queen is a game it's like a giant custom arcade cabinet that they bring around to special events, and it's only ever been available there. But it's basically like I think it's 4-on-4. It's a 4-on-4 arcade cabinet. The thing is massive.
Oh, Jesus.
I saw one set at Gen Con before, and it's crazy looking. But it's basically just kind of like a 2D side-scrolling team game that they're porting to Switch now. So interested to see how that goes and how it translates. And then Astral Chain. Did you see that one in the like Nindies thing they did a while ago?
Yes. Yes.
It's like this weird kind of like futuristic anime-ish weird looking game. I don't know what it is exactly, but I want to see that.
But you're
that
hooked on
good.
it. You're sold.
It looked good. And then of course Borderlands 3.
Borderlands 3, yeah, it's gonna be hype.
I don't know, I'm getting weirdly excited for that game.
I know.
I thought I was gonna hate the idea of a Borderlands 3, but
I know, but like everything just looks so good on it. And then they also said everything was gonna be crossplay, which was was like a huge deal because Fortnite tried to do that, and I didn't say anything about PlayStation, but I'm assuming it's gonna come across and get that going.
I mean, that ties into what we might be talking about later with
it probably
to the
will.
Epic Game Store.
Probably will.
But yeah, that was one of the things they mentioned was their decision behind that was partially based on Epic's done cross-platform pretty darn well.
Yeah.
So they're gonna try and bank on that expertise. But
hopefully. So moving into like wish list. So these are the things that I wrote 2 things. There's a million things I want to see in 2019, but the number one thing I want to see the new consoles at least announced. I want to know what the hell is going behind the scenes at Sony. I want to know what the hell is going on behind the scenes at Microsoft. And there's something going on. And I want to know how much money I have to fucking save before these damn things come out. Because I know I'm going to have to get one, at least for the website. I know I'm going to have to get one, at least to be able to play something. And I want to know what's going to go on with them. Is it going to be any different? Are they going to be modular? Because there was a rumor that they're going to be modular. You can pull things in and out. That just ruins a console, basically makes it a PC. So I really want to see what's going on.
Though, if it's like if they're just gonna have like different tiered versions, because like they've come out with so many tiered versions eventually of the current generation, like Microsoft's like the discless one or something.
Yeah, like a low, medium, and high, where if you want to have the ultimate edition and be able to be faster and lower latency, you got to spend more money. Like, it's gonna be a money grab. I have a feeling.
Well, then you got to wonder if they're also going to start looking into streaming boxes or something too, because
that's a whole nother
Microsoft's
podcast.
Their own
that's a whole nother discussion.
PlayStation Now.
Google just jumped in. Hey, everything's gonna be. You can literally play on any device, as long as it has a screen. Yeah, Apple's doing it. Amazon's probably gonna do it. That's something we're gonna. I'm gonna bring it up later. Anyway,
did you hear the Walmart story too? Walmart's looking at streaming services too.
Walmart is the bastard child of video gaming, just in general, but it's always going to take off.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Mac, for the host. So, the second thing I want to see is the rise of non-sequels. So I don't know if I have to explain this, but I'm tired of sequels. I want to see original shit come out. Like, I know Borderlands 3 is coming out, and I'm like, oh yeah, Borderlands 3 looks so sick. But I know I put Super Mario Maker up there, and I put Marvel Ultimate Alliance as a sequel, but like Outer Worlds, Cyberpunk, Satisfactory, stuff like that, Starfield, stuff that hasn't came out before. And I want to see new IPs take life and not just keep adding numbers at the end of thing. I'm getting tired of the 4 different Call of Duties with their own 4 different iterations of each one. I just want to see new things come out. And most of that's going to be indie based, and I love indies, don't get me wrong. I just want to see new stuff come out this year. That is my wish list so far.
Speaking of that, there was actually one I forgot on my anticipated list, Cadence of Hyrule.
Okay.
It was the indie where it is a cross of Crypt of the Necrodancer and Legend of Zelda.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that looks fun.
So it's like, I don't know what that is, but that is an IP kind of joining I can get behind. That looks good.
I am already sold. Just release the goddamn game already. It's just
I don't have anywhere to put all the money I need to give Nintendo right now. So.
Can you just direct deposit into Nintendo?
Yeah. I'm just going to set them up for my work. They're going to take out of my paycheck.
That's why, as well as at Best Buy, I'm like, can you just give me a gift card? Because I'm going to spend half my check here already. Seriously. So wish list, go for it.
Yeah, definitely the thing I'm wish listing first is going to be a loot shooter. It actually lives up to this hype.
Okay.
I feel like I got into Destiny 2, grinded super hard, and then realized there was nothing to it. And then you hear stories about Anthem coming out busted and not really directioned.
I didn't read much on Anthem. That thing looks like it just shit the bed really bad.
Yeah, Division 2 has been like the most solid launch of a kind of current loot shooter. But I don't know, it feels like every other game I've tried to get into. I've also got into what was it, Vermintide 2? Okay. Which was real good until you realize that there's like 6 missions you can do, and then it kind of ends. Like you just repeat those over and over and over until you get all the stuff you need, but then you just keep using that to do the same missions over and over and over again. So I'm hoping Borderlands 3 could actually nail it again. Because Borderlands 2, their setup was actually pretty good. Like they had a good campaign, tons of loot.
The story lasted for a while. I mean, it was a decent time just for the story, and then not only that, you can have the co-op aspect of it, and then you can play it again, but harder, but get better guns. So it's not really harder. I mean, I guess it kind of is, but you get better guns to kind of counteract. It's just such a. I loved it so much. And then they have like, hey, follow us on Twitter. Here's free chest codes, and they just release these free codes, and you get all these crazy guns and stuff like it.
Well, that's what I thought too, is that those were going to be rare to come by, but yeah, you just had to like follow their Twitter, and like every other day they were posting like, here's a new shift code, just grab it, try it. If it's still active, use it.
I guess they're still active. I guess someone went through and tried to reactivate a lot of them. They did in the past, and a lot of them are still good. He's just been getting guns.
Did you also hear that in the first teaser trailer they had that had like the big character mask that was kind of the big 3D model? Apparently there was a shift code embedded in that video.
Oh yeah, he said that during the thing. He's like, "Oh, this is the first part of the shift code," and I guess there's more numbers later on. I was like, "These guys have." It's like
it unlocks like a skin or something like that, and then a chest key or whatever.
Oh, that's so good, man! I can't wait.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. Then I'm hoping that I don't know, just monetization stuff and games gets better. Like Fallout 76. I've been watching too many Yang Yi videos lately. There's a lot of stuff on kind of scummy practices and stuff, and one of them was about Fallout 76. They had character uniforms they put in for these. The comics in the game have a line of kind of like superhero-ish type characters.
Okay.
And you can get the skins for those characters through their shop.
Okay.
One of them drops free in the game, but then there was an event where if each of your people on the team had one of these unique skins, it would give everyone on the team bonus health boosts.
Okay.
But only one of those is something you can get in game. The other ones you have to buy through the shop.
Oh.
To get this gamed health boost throughout the game.
And then everyone has to have a different skin.
A different one, so you can't all just have the same one. That's the one that's actually in the game that you can earn normally.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's like, come on. It's a little crappy. And Black Ops added extra microtransactions on top of their $60 game, and it's everywhere. It's in the zombies mode, it's in the blackout mode, it's their battle pass mode stuff. I don't know. It's something I would like to see either lessen, go away, or just find a better way to.
I would love to have it go away, but I mean, there's so many people that just pay to win.
Oh yeah,
they have enough money, or their mom and dad, they just give them a credit card and they just swipe through their way to victory, which is ridiculous.
especially like any coverage I've ever seen on like mobile games that people are like, you know, we got sponsored, they gave us this game early, and then they gave us a code for like so much of this in-game currency. It's like, well, of course the game's gonna look great now. You can just buy your way to whatever you want.
Yeah, you can just you just upgrade and play for an hour and finish half the game and just wreck everyone. This game is great. You just beat the hell out of everyone.
It's super easy.
Not how everyone else plays, homie. Sorry about that. Ugh.
But I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm hoping for this year. Mostly for Borderlands 3 to pan out to be what I want it to be.
Hoping and praying that it doesn't crap the bed. So
yeah,
let's bring up Blades. I want to hear your chat on Blades because I know you're holding back and I don't have it written down later. So I want to hear because I don't have Blades. I mentioned earlier I don't have the Blades, Elder Scrolls Blades because it won't play on my phone. My phone's too old, so I don't have I don't have an option to play it. So I want to I've been listening to you rant. I read your article that you wrote up on the website, and it just seems like it seems like a joke for a lot of the part on how you can proceed, like even progress in the game. It doesn't make any sense.
It is. I find it just like every part of it is built to get you to buy gems in the game because gems are the way you can speed up all the timers in the game, which are everywhere. It's the way you can fill in missing resources, which take forever to grind normally. Because the only way you can normally get them is there's a set of maybe 4 repeatable jobs. And every time you take one of these missions, you go into a dungeon. It's one of like 2 dungeons that you can crawl through. So they always look the same over and over and over again. And as you go through the dungeons, it's either collect 6 items, kill 4 enemies, or something like that.
Okay.
It's the same thing every time. So you go through those over and over to try and get a couple extra limestone or something and hope that one of the rewards for the mission is like 5 to 10 limestone or something. Because you need those limestone to bring back to your kind of base in the game, the city that you're rebuilding, to build a new house.
Okay.
The house doesn't do anything. You build a house just to up your city level, but it doesn't actually give you any benefits, really. Okay. There's a couple buildings you can build, like a smithy that will sell you equipment and stuff and fix your equipment. Okay. There's a place where you can eventually brew potions, stuff like that. So it's kind of like a Skyrim town. But like everything you need to do if you want to upgrade a piece of your armor, it could be a 45-minute timer, but almost every time you use it, it seems to go up more the next time you use it.
Oh, Jesus.
So eventually I'm trying to repair a piece of armor that's going to take me 3 hours just to repair my sword or upgrade my sword.
So are you playing for like 10 minutes and then you have to wait for some sort of timer to finish before you can move on?
Kind of, yes. It depends because... So, as you go through these missions, you kill enemies, but they don't drop gear or loot. The only way you get gear or loot is finding chests in the world.
Okay.
So the chests go into an inventory. You don't actually open them to find the items in them. They go into a chest inventory. You start out with 10 chest inventory spaces. So then you get to the end of the mission, you get back to town, you start opening the chests. The basic wood chests are 5 seconds to open, which I don't know why they have a timer on them then.
Yeah, 5... Okay.
Because it's 5 seconds, and when you hit the start button, if you within that 5 seconds, if you don't want to wait 5 seconds, you can pay a gem to skip that timer. I
For
don't
5
know why
seconds?
those exist. For 5 seconds, you can skip 5 seconds with a gem. I don't know why it exists.
This is what company is this? Is this Bethesda?
It is Bethesda.
I should find their PR and be like, I want to report on how many people have paid gems for 5 seconds. I want to know. I want to know the analytics
at this point because it's NetEase or it's Tencent at this point because it's monetized out the ass, and it's
insane.
So the next chest up is a silver chest, which will actually give you some better stuff. Usually the wood ones will just give you some resources. They don't even give you like weapons or armor that you need to upgrade your character. So the next one up is a 3-hour timer. So it goes from 5 seconds to 3 hours. 5 seconds to
3 hours?
And then the next one is 6 hours for a gold chest.
And can you open more than one chest at a time, or is it one chest?
No, one chest at a time, and while that one's opening, you can't open others unless you pay the gems directly. And while that's opening, like you could still hit that capacity on your chest inventory spaces and then just not be able to carry any more of these chests. The thing that sucks is the ones you get most often are wood ones. So you could have like, maybe you have like 5 available spots in your chest inventory. You go through a couple missions. Well, now they filled up with wood chests that aren't going to give you much. Have a 5-second timer, unless you want to keep tapping that one gem button to get past these wood chests to just get them out of your inventory. You can't get rid of chests in your inventory. You can't sell them off. You can't destroy them or anything.
So you have to wait the 3 hours, and then you can clear out those chests.
Yeah, then basically you go and clear out the 5-second chest quick, and then start another 3-hour timer.
And it seems like that seems like too much work. I
started
started playing the Star Trek, what is it, Fleet Commander or whatever again. And I'm having fun, but there's just so many timers. Like, okay, click, timer, and I just put the phone down, and I'll come back to it like later in work. Like, oh look, my timer's done. Click, and then I wait again. I'm like, I'm kind of getting bored of just these waiting simulators.
The thing too is it's like, so then on top of that, you're building up the city. You're upping your city level because that also gatekeeps some of the story missions in the game.
Okay.
So I made about 3 or 4 story missions before it's like, well, now you need to have a city level 2 before you can actually go on this mission that you've accepted from someone.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, now I need to build more houses. Well, then I ran into the issue of I'm not finding limestone anywhere. This is this one resource that I need to build houses that I can't find anywhere. So I either had to keep grinding missions constantly, and if it's not a mission reward to get limestone, you'll maybe find 1 or 2 in a mission. And houses are like 40 something per house. Again, for a building in your town that does nothing.
So I mean, I'm trying to wrap my head around like the time, like the time management of this game. So you're only playing for like a couple minutes at a time because you have to wait. You could keep playing, but you'd lose out on your chests.
Yes,
because they're queued up.
Unless you buff up the amount of inventory slots you have in your chest.
See, that's cost money though. Like if I don't want to spend a dime, if I got a new phone tomorrow and I wanted to play this game, I would probably play for a good maybe 20 minutes right off the bat because I'm sure there'd be a lot of empty chests or the wooden chests and stuff. But once I get to like getting into the core part of the game, I think I'll be looking at just playing for like 5 minutes and waiting. But so mobile gaming has changed a lot, at least in the last couple of years, where people are playing games longer on their phones. I would say they're playing more time. So if they're punishing you for only being able to play one game. Like, is that why you have to have like 6 games on your phone so you can cycle through all the timers every 20 minutes?
It does kind of feel like that a little bit, yeah. Like each one you just spend 10, 20 minutes with at most. In this one, you could do a couple missions in a couple minutes. Like, they're not very long either. And honestly, the interface they have is not bad for getting through the missions. Like, actually going in there, you could play a portrait or landscape. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think I'm always preferring portrait because the landscape controls are bad. Like, the virtual joysticks setup they use is kind of bad, but it's you just tap on the ground to kind of move to a spot. Getting into combats with is whenever you're close enough to an enemy, it just kind of triggers and you get into a one-on-one kind of situation where they're just kind of strafing back and forth, and then every once in a while they attack you. You hit a shield button to bring up your shield and kind of like try and parry them, and then attack them by just kind of holding on the screen
rock, paper, scissors?
Circle fills. No, it's like this little. You tap on the screen, this little circle starts to fill up, and if you hit like let go within a certain time, all of a sudden you get like a more powerful hit. Okay. It's really just kind of like hit the button, try and parry them, now hold down and let go to do an attack on them, hit the shield button again to try and parry them again. And there's some extra spells and abilities you can get, but they're all just kind of button taps.
I mean, it seems like a good idea, but I feel like
it's a decent idea for something you could do on mobile. I think they could have done better though. I feel like with the power Bethesda has behind them and how much money they put into was obviously a really good looking visual engine.
For mobile, like it looked good that I can see. Like the mobile, that's probably why my phone can't play. It looks
fantastic, actually. Like every time I've opened on my phone, it looks amazing, and then it's just disappointing to actually have to try and play through.
See, this makes me worried for the Diablo Immortal, whatever the hell it's called. Like, how is that going to be any different in this? Like, what is it going to follow the same path? Because Blizzard never done a mobile game besides Hearthstone. So
I think it's going to look exactly like every other NetEase game out there. Like they say, no, we got something different from NetEase. But if you look at anything that NetEase has put out, it looks exactly like a Diablo clone. So Diablo Immortals is just going to look like a Diablo clone on your phone.
I just hope
which
there's
isn't
no
bad,
timers though.
but
Like, is it gonna be timers? Like,
that's
oh,
just is it wouldn't be bad normally, but if they're not charging for this, it's gonna be laden with free to play stuff, and that's gonna really kill the vibe.
so would you have rather paid for the app outright and to lessen the chest? You think that'd make a better experience?
I think
Like,
even
if you
if
pay,
they,
would it be like a $7 purchase, $5 purchase for it to make it worth their while?
well, that's just it. That's one thing I wish existed still. When energy meters originally came out, that was like a big concept that was kind of like a demo of a game.
Mhm.
You would download the free version. It would have this energy meter, so you could only play so much
Yeah.
unless you paid $2 or whatever to give you unlimited energy. Now you can just play the game as much as you want.
Yeah.
And that's used to be what energy meters are. Now they're just a way to try and extort some more currency out of you, because
so
there's no way to remove them anymore. So it's like if they would have had something in this game that's like, because they have like $5 packs, they have $20 packs you can buy of weapons,
The $100, the $99.99
$99.99
pack. Yeah.
gems, best value.
Best value, yeah.
But it's like if they would have just taken some of that and been like, hey, you pay this $5, now it doesn't require time to build houses or brew potions.
Oh, that's just,
Because anytime you brew a potion, it's like a 20-second timer, which only exists to be an annoyance to make you want to spend a gem. Like,
it doesn't. That just seemed
like
I was excited for it, and I just even if I get a new phone, I'm gonna
There's-
try it, but I don't think I'm gonna like it because it just feels like you're only gonna play for a little bit, and then you're gonna play the waiting game unless you really want to spend money, which I don't. Is there a way to
Yeah.
watch ads? Does they have like an ad?
nope.
Oh,
Nope.
see.
I'm actually kind of glad there's not ads in there on top of everything that's already there. But it might be a nice option
It's
to
like,
skip past
Pay
some of the
10
time.
gems or watch this ad, and you can open your chest quicker, like type
Yeah.
of currency switch. But oh,
Yeah, but it's just everything though, because even when you get the blacksmith, so like I said, you can go and you can imbue weapons, and that sets a timer on the weapon. It takes it away from you to imbue it during that time, whatever, that makes sense. But
okay.
I know in the world of mobile it makes sense, but
Yeah.
then you also can't repair any of your other armor while that's being done at the smith. He can only do one thing at a time, basically. So if he's imbuing a weapon to upgrade it, you can't repair any of your other equipment until that's done upgrading. But if you hit that repair button, then it pops up a thing like, oh, do you want to confirm paying the gems to instead finish this weapon, and then you can repair? And it's just like, every screen I click on feels like it's throwing up another thing that's like, hey, you got any extra gems? We got these gem packs
Y'all
over
got
here.
that money? We got something for you. You got that money?
And it somehow
Oh,
it feels
man.
more egregious than most mobile games I've played before.
God, it probably
And
is.
I can't pinpoint exactly why, and I think it's just there's one too many level of timers or something.
I'm gonna have to watch
It's-
it. Anyway, let's move on.
It's
Let's move on.
It's weird. Yeah, I could go.
Let's
for a
move
while
on. Let's
this.
move on to Sekiro before we go to the big thing. I named this section for the hot news and stuff. Dropping fire. We can change that. That's the only thing that's the only thing that came to my head when I was writing this out. So
Well,
the
I
easy
mean, this
mode.
has been
You gotta
hot
explain to
news
me this
and
easy mode thing
debates.
because you're the one that kind of saw
Yeah,
kind of
so
figured
this
this
is
out. So or
the
heard
last
about
few
this.
days I've seen this blowing up on Twitter, especially that. So there's been Sekiro came out and it's been a real good game. Everyone's been loving it, but there's been a discussion that there should be an easy mode or accessibility options for it. Basically, for those who don't want to go through the super tough challenge of actually fighting through the game to get to the end of it or whatever.
And is there like a good story? I haven't got to play this game. So
From what I can tell, it looks pretty good. I haven't actually played too much of it myself either.
So I know
this
there's
is all
some
just kind
games
of-
like, oh, if you want to do casual, where you want to get more of the story and not worry about fighting
Oh,
as
yeah.
much. Like, I wonder if is that the option they're talking about, or is there even a story they have to worry about?
Even if it's just like an easier difficulty to make it through the game a little bit easier,
Mm-hmm.
or accessibility options like if you ever played Celeste, apparently that was
Yeah.
a very tough kind of splatformer game, but it would you could go in and tweak all these accessibility options to basically make it like you can't fall down pits, you get infinite jumps, you get infinite dashes or whatever.
Of course. Okay.
And apparently you can activate that stuff and use it anywhere and it doesn't penalize you for it. So if people just want to experience that game in an easier way, they can toggle on whatever these options they need and get through the game. For a game was kind of made to be notoriously hard. But then you get to Sekiro and people are bringing this up online, and then everyone else that's like a From Software fan that makes these Dark Souls games and stuff like that, they're like, well, that would destroy the artistic vision of that the company has for it. Like,
Yeah.
that's the whole point of these games is to be hard. But what I've been kind of reading on as I dig more into it is that the people that are asking for this are usually actually more like disabled gamers that have issues actually just getting through the game as it normally exists. Like for them trying to play through the normal mode of this game is already like trying to play it on a hard mode of this game.
Makes sense. That makes more sense. Okay, that makes sense. If they want to, okay. I can't get mad at that. I get that.
So that's the two arguments that are coming kind of weirdly to a head in a way where, like, I saw, it was the weirdest thing ever. So I saw this conversation of a guy named Doc Squiggly on Twitter. That's his Twitter handle or whatever. But he is a disabled gamer who has kind of been on that side of the issue. And he was basically trying to tell another YouTuber, like, that playing the game normally for him has been like trying to play it on hard mode. Like an easy mode for him would basically be like playing the game on a normal. Because it's basically trying to compensate for the things that he can't
his disability that he can't do. Yeah.
And it was basically the other guy coming back to him, like saying like, well, that's not true. That's not how it works. Like essentially kind of putting on him like, that's not your experience that you're having. And it was kind of a weirdly shitty thing to see on that side of the argument. Like just kind of coming to a person who is telling you outright, like this is my situation, and you coming back to him like, no, I don't think it is. And it's like,
actually,
I don't know if that's how that works. That it's just something I thought I'd bring up because it's a really
has the studio responded at all to any of this? Or is it just everyone and their mom talking about it? To see
what they've actually said. As far as I can tell so far, it's just like an uproar in the fan base, kind of like, of people saying like, hey, if you have the super hard game, I mean, like Celeste did it and it worked great and it didn't destroy their artistic vision at all. Yeah. It was just something that helped people that needed that help with the game to experience it, whatever their reason for wanting that help was. Well, then there's other people that are like, they talk about it and they're like, well, I mean, the whole point of the From Software games is for like you to kind of overcome this experience that not everyone can do. And that's kind of the reward of those games. And even that I started to think about, and it's like, that seems like kind of a misguided argument too, because the reward of these games is overcoming a challenge in something you're trying to do, not that you're trying to do something that shouldn't be available to everyone. Like the satisfaction that you should be deriving from those games is beating a tough challenge for yourself.
Yeah.
But when you hear people talk about it, they're saying like, basically kind of like, get good. Like, I've done this, so you should be able to do this, and I'm better because I've done this thing now.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm part of that group of From Software people now. And it just feels like an argument that's coming from I'm doing this to be better than other people, other than like I'm doing this for my own satisfaction, enjoyment of overcoming an obstacle. Because that's kind of what they come back at people that are like, well, these should be accessibility options for everyone, so everyone can enjoy this game to the level that you do. And it's like, then they come back, they're like, well, you can't enjoy the game unless you're really doing stuff that not everyone could do. And it's like, it's kind of weirdly gatekeepy to be like, you need to kind of get good at this game.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say hard no on that. Like,
I don't know. That's the two sides I've done. Apparently, it's become this big thing because like Daniel Dwyer, the guy that does the no clip documentaries. If you've ever seen any of those, he just recently put out an article that's kind of like, apparently it's like a 3-prong kind of attack where no one's necessarily right or wrong, and it's all just kind of everyone's just shouting into the void right now on Twitter. So I thought I'd bring it up to kind of see what your thoughts are on like easy mode and stuff like that, and just kind of bring up what I've been seeing.
I mean, okay, personally, I feel like if there's an easy mode option available and it doesn't flaunt it like your example, Celeste or anything like that, I don't seem to be in a problem. I feel everyone should have a level playing field on certain type of games, whether it be disability, whether it be, I mean, old to young. I mean, older people, obviously reaction times are a lot less. I mean, so you're playing a harder game or a faster paced game like Fortnite, you're gonna get your ass kicked because these kids do nothing but play this game all day. But like, I feel like because it's a single player game, I don't see that being a problem. But that's just me. Like, I don't.
Yeah. Well, like I said, like even in multiplayer, it would be a lot harder to balance for, because it's like how do you do that without
I wouldn't even change it for
destroying game balance in
multiplayer. Like multiplayer is the way we built a game. I'm sorry, if you want to play multiplayer, unless they want to go as far as they want to make a custom server where it's strictly everyone has the same settings, and you go from there. I mean, but it's still I don't know. That's hard to say. It's such a gray line. But I mean, people that the thing that pisses me off the whole thing is the people that say no, that can't be your experience.
Yeah.
When someone actually says, "Hey, I can't move my fingers a certain way because I'm disabled."
What kept bugging me the most about it whenever I looked at Twitter, like every thread I was finding on this, like you dig into the comments, and it was always kind of like a thing where eventually, like, a gamer that had some sort of disability would come on there and be like, hey, this is the reasons. It's because this game, even on its normal mode, is difficult to play in a way that's not for able-bodied gamers, and then those able-bodied gamers would basically come in and just kind of shit all over them.
And I love what Microsoft's done recently. I mean, going off of that, like Microsoft has all these like separate controllers now, and like the controllers for the people with disabilities and stuff. I think it's amazing. Like, it's not going to make them play the game any better, but it's going to allow them to be able to actually attempt to play the game. So
exactly,
that's such a hard thing. I mean, but
well, that's just the thing too. Is like that's what that is to try and level the playing field for everyone, and especially in a single player experience, like you're saying, like throw those options in there. Yeah, it's not hurting.
Like, who is it literally going to hurt? Is it? I mean, maybe make the achievements not attainable if you turn those on. I mean, is that going to be a huge deal? Like, if you have to beat the hardest boss on the hardest difficulty level with no settings change, that will give you a badge of honor. Like, will that make you feel better? I don't know.
That just is like I don't know what's going to alleviate the situation. I just thought it was like the most interesting thing that's kind of come up lately that I've been seeing.
It's like such a moral dilemma. Oh, it's like this. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Let's move into this Epic Game Store because we're running out of time to keep this close.
Like I said, I don't think there's a clear resolution that's even been reached in the community.
There's ever going to be a clear resolution. This is just a mess. So the last 15 minutes or so, we're going to try to kink out. Hey, Hux, how you doing? We're going to try to... This next thing is Epic Game Store. If you haven't heard or seen the issue that's been going on recently with this Epic Game Store, the problem is Borderlands 3, Gearbox Games, or Gearbox Studios, I never remember what it is. They announced that, hey, the game is coming out September, was it 13th?
Yep.
I'm going to say 13th. And it's going to be an Epic Game Store launch exclusive. So the game is going to be only available on the Epic Game Store until April of 2020. So
6 months.
It's a little over 6 months, isn't it? September, October, November, December, January. 7 months maybe, give or take. 7 months. So everyone's blown up about it. Like, people are pissed. They're fucking livid that they have to use the Epic Game Store. So I want to kind of break it down, the difference between the Epic Game Store and Steam, maybe compare it a little bit. So let me just break a couple things down for you. So I have a pros and cons kind of little section. We can kind of go over it. So the pros of the Epic Game Store for users is really not that much for gamers. But you have a friends list, you have there's a building library of games. I guess one of the pros for gamers is that they actually give you free games every 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Like, Steam has never given you a free game. Never ever given you a free game.
Yeah, they've been rolling this since they first had the store, and they only had like a couple of games in it.
Yeah, I mean they this is like their 10th game or something like that, and they've all been decent games that have done well in the past.
So the Witness right now, which is a real good game.
Witness is very good. I got to review that game. That was a really good game. So like the cons, people are complaining about the cons. There's no forums. There's no rating system. There's no curator system where people can like follow raters and stuff that Steam had. But you gotta think, a lot of the stuff Steam just barely got. They didn't have this shit when they first came out. When Steam first came out, it was a pile of shit. Like, nobody wanted to play Counter-Strike because 1.6 is better because they didn't go to the Steam version. That was absolutely balls.
Yeah.
But like, so but I mean, one second. So with the creators though, like the developers, they get paid more by putting it on the Epic Game Store. Like, they get more profit margin. Your dollar actually goes to the people who made the game compared to the people that are just giving you a window or a button to click to be able to get it. It just doesn't make... Okay, go. I'll let you go ahead on that part, unless you have anything to add to those.
I mean, I feel like people might see that as a double-edged sword, because, yeah, the developers are earning way more money, but they're still charging full price for all their games, despite getting a pretty sizable cut. Like, I think Metro Exodus was the only one that was like, because of the better profit margins, we're cutting the price by $10 as opposed to what we were going to charge on Steam when they pulled it from Steam.
Yeah.
So they kind of came out with that, but I haven't seen any other games following that line of logic.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that either. So, I mean, I can see that, but I mean, if they make... They're obviously doing this for money. I mean, it's not for love of the game. You're selling it for money because, you know, you're selling it for money. So, but like, why are people so angry about the Epic Game Store? Besides, is it simply the fact that they have to have another program installed on their computer? Is that really the argument that people are bitching about?
I think partially. I don't know. So I've been wondering about this lately too, because I have a pretty sizable Steam library that I've accumulated over like 10 years of being on the service.
Oh yeah.
And what's weird is, so we're getting all mad because they have Borderlands for 6 months exclusive, and you have to have their launcher to play it. I don't think people remember that when Steam first came out, you couldn't play Half-Life 2 single player even unless you had a Steam account that had authenticated the game with it.
Yeah.
You had to have Steam to play Half-Life 2. And that was a forever deal. That wasn't 6 months. Yeah, I remember being pissed because I got that home, got it activated. There was like a huge patch for it, and I was still on like dial-up, so I just couldn't download that patch, so I couldn't play the game right away. I had to end up getting a setup to run overnight just so I could download the stupid patch so I could play a game that I bought at the store.
Nobody answered the phone, god damn it. I'm gonna play Half-Life 2 in the morning.
And that was a game I bought at the store. Like, I went to a GameStop and bought that, and I got it home and I couldn't play it. So it's like, good guy Steam isn't that really great either. So going off of like downloading and stuff like that, I mean, Steam and Epic Games, they're just distributors. They're really not, I mean, distributors with a front-end purchasing format. Because you can buy the game, I mean, maybe not Borderlands, but the game's an example. You can buy games from Humble, you can buy games from Discord now, you can buy games from Green Man Gaming, CD Keys. There's so many places you can get games now. But I just feel like company-specific launchers too, like Uplay, Origin, all those ones.
That's what I don't get. Okay, so that's what I don't get. So, Fortnite is the most played video game like of all time. Maybe Minecraft is probably higher, but with the millions of people, with a million people that has played Fortnite, why are people even if you've played it for 10 minutes, you already have an account.
Yeah.
Like, why are you bitching about having another loader? But the problem is, I think like, are these not MMO players? Because every single MMO has a launcher. Even if you get an MMO from Steam, all it does is launch a fucking launcher to download the MMO. Like, it's like launcher inception if you're playing these games. So I don't know if this is just the younger generation that's not used to having like 15 launchers and having separate games for everything and not having everything in one place. Like,
well,
that's the thing, is
I think the people that are probably bitching about it are probably the people that aren't used to the launchers, like the older people. I don't know if it's the newer people because they're used to having launchers everywhere. Like, it exists for them already.
I don't get it.
But yeah, in chat, like, we got OG Machine here says, I'm happy the competition with PC gaming stores by Epic Store has been breached pretty much yearly so far, last being in January, and the customer service isn't very good an experience yet. Which is definitely interesting. I actually had my Fortnite account broken into, and I had 2 like $100 bundles charged to that. I don't know. My experience with their customer experience was just fine, but it was a very simple thing. I just said, "Hey, someone got on my account, bought these two things, I refunded it in like a couple days.
I mean, customer service for major companies is always
But
hit and miss. I mean, it's always kind of a shit show depending on who you get on the phone. But I mean, I agree with that. Like, Epic Games is a huge target, and I don't think they're used to being that type of target. Like Huck said, Epic Launcher was really just for like Shadow Complex, and the Unreal Engine. That's literally the only reason why you needed it. And then Fortnite just became the holy grail. Everyone started downloading it, and they weren't ready for the security on it. And then they're like, "Hey, let's open a store." And I think that was I think they kind of hustled that a little too quick, probably.
Yeah. Well, there's also the thing of like, so they have like all this community stuff on Steam, and like I was mentioning, the Levelhead editor creators, Butterscotch Shenanigans, their podcast, they actually delved into this a little bit, like how Steam for developers is also taking away the easy way for developers to communicate with their fan base. Like they've actually just gone back to trying to use like email newsletters, because once you buy into the Steam controlled thing, they control all of your forums and all of that stuff. Like Steam has all of that communication with your customers now. So if
because they're technically Steam customers, are they really your customers at that point?
They're not your customers. They're Steam users that are signed up to get communications from your stuff. But if Steam ever changes or does anything with those channels, suddenly you lose easy communication with your fan base that you're trying to get to buy your next game or support your next early access or whatever that is. So it's been kind of a double-edged sword from what I've heard of it's stuff that they're trying to use to generate communities in Steam, but that's all Steam stuff. That's not developer stuff. They don't have as clean of access all the time as they want from that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because
that makes sense.
They always post those. Yeah, you see them always post those like updates, and it says like update June 20 something, and then they write their update, and there's like a million comments saying how shitty the game is, and they're like, how can you sort through that and read someone with actual viable information or something like that? It's just I don't. Well,
then anytime you have a middleman on a process like that, it's gonna add time. It's gonna add delays and stuff to either get updates pushed out or all that kind of stuff, or get feedback from people. And so I mean, I can see it from that side of like the Epic launcher. If it doesn't have that stuff in it, it still relies on a direct connection of the company that's making the game and the people that are buying it to communicate with each other. I don't know. It's just something I thought was very interesting out of the discussion they have on that podcast.
Interesting. So
in relation to that story.
I know Steam has a lot of features that are appealing to gamers. I mean, like you have the trading card system a lot of people love, and even if you don't use it, you can sell your cards for real money and eventually build up something you can turn some monetary value on it. We already mentioned the reviews and a lot of other stuff that they have built into it. Like you said, groups, but that's kind of a mismatch now. What can Epic do to get people over this hatred for them? I'm trying to figure out like what can they do besides basically just start switching on all these things that Steam has that would make people like them, besides giving them free games every 2 weeks.
I think that and time. It honestly, like, there were a lot of people that hated Steam when it first came out.
Oh, I know.
They took Half-Life.
I was one of them.
Hated that behind it. Once the Counter-Strike moved from 1.6 to Counter-Strike Source, and they were just like, we're kind of done supporting 1.6
Yeah, 1.6 servers are closed. You guys are playing.
Yeah. So, like, they did a lot of gatekeeping that made a lot of people mad, but eventually, given time and some good sales, giving out some cheap discounts, people started to come around to Steam, and it's been enough years that I think people have just adopted it and gotten used to it. And I think eventually that's going to happen with Epic Games Store too. They'll fix the security issues, they'll get better friends listing, they'll get all the other stuff they need to get, and eventually people will kind of forget about this hatred. And
I really think it's just, I don't know if it's like, I understand some people have some issues with it, like Jay Machine mentioned, he had customer service issues with it, but I'm just not. I mean, maybe I gotta wrap my head around it a little more. Like, I have zero problems. I can have 50 launchers on my computer, And if I don't want to play the game, I just uninstall it or I'm done with it. Like I don't need to have the launcher on there if you're not playing it. Like I don't have a Blizzard on there right now because I don't need it. If I need to re-download it, it's going to take like 10 seconds to download because it's literally just the launcher. It's not that crazy. But
it is funny. I think one of the April Fool's jokes going around was a launcher. It was an application that you put on a computer to launch your launchers.
I think Baba was talking about that. I need a launcher to launch the launchers, which will then just launch launchers after. Goddamn.
Yeah.
So, I want to kind of go into. I put lastly, is this good for us as gamers as a whole? Having more than one launcher, having another distribution option, having another store-like option. I mean, besides having the con of now I gotta have something else. I gotta have my credit card at another location that may not be as secure. Or you use PayPal. I actually haven't bought anything from Epic, so I'm not sure if they even offer those other payment types. But like,
I think
in your mind, is it a good as a whole for gamers by having, I guess, competition? Is this competition going to be good for everyone in the long run?
I'm going to cop out and say it's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
It's both good and bad. Because it's good because we might see better pricing. I don't know if that's actually ever going to come about.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it's going to start driving, I guess, maybe more incentives for the two storefronts to be more consumer-friendly. Like maybe Steam will cut back some of those discounts that they've kind of loosened up on, because their discounts lately haven't been so deep anymore.
And their Steam sales have been shitty and boring.
Yeah, so
like, you said mini games and stuff you can play to try to get cards. Like I thought it was that's all I did at work all day. I just play those damn click miner things.
Then Valve tried to come up with another game, and their card game really didn't pan out.
No, and I bought it and I was all on it.
Yeah, so I think it's good in that it drives competition between the two, and it's not like even if this Epic store goes away that you're not going to have 10 other launchers to play games on your computer, because those already exist. They're already there. You can't make Epic and everyone else just be like, all right, never mind. We're all done. We're going back to Steam. Everyone back on ship. Everyone back on board. Like that's done. That's passed.
Yeah, pretty okay.
Honestly, mostly I just hope for now it's just good deals, because like you said, they got the free game on Epic. They got Metro to drop $10 off the price, even though they ended up screwing all the Steam users. But I don't know. I hope that competition drives good stuff for us, but I don't think it's exactly going to be great either. Just more in the fact of it's pushing everything more towards the digital future that's inevitably coming anyway, where you don't actually own anything anymore.
Oh, so, I mean, even then, like most of these games that you buy physically, and all you do is put the key into Steam, like you don't own that game. Like if Steam dries up, you will never be able to play that game again unless that company comes out of hiding and puts it on some other distribution.
That is one thing that I've always wondered if it would make people mad about this situation too, is if you think that Steam is threatened by something, you think, what if Steam went away and all of a sudden those 400 games I have in my library are nothing?
Yeah, they're literally nothing.
And I think it's more just driving home a point of what we have to worry about even just in the coming years of a more digitally centered game market of like, what do you actually own at the end of the day, and how reliable are these services going to be in 10, 15, 20 years?
Yeah, you're literally going to pay, by that time, you're literally just paying for hourly entertainment, because if it's gone, it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like going to a strip club. You're going to get your thrill out of it, and then once you leave, or it goes away, your fun is over until you find somewhere else to go, and that's literally what it's going to be like.
Or everything's going to be Nintendo and PlayStation Now, where your entire back library is just on this service that you charge monthly for.
You pay monthly, so you can break your time. If you want to break your time by hours, like my time is worth $10 an hour. If I'm playing 10 hours of this system, I just made $100. I'm only paying $5 a month. That's a huge deal for me. I mean, it just depends on how you're gonna think about it. For me, I feel like it's great. Huck kind of touched on it in chat. They need to make an effort to have our attention and money, which kind of makes sense. So if you, I'm getting to the point where I'm not buying as many games as I used to. Like I know a lot of people are still buying every single game that comes out, but me, like I only bought like 2 or 3 games last year. So you really have to grab me to buy something, or I'm gonna wait until it goes on sale. So if the system, I'm gonna say the system right now, the launcher does not matter to me. I don't care what system it is, because if it's a game I'm gonna play, I'm gonna play it. Like I downloaded Uplay to play Division. I was like, oh, I have another launcher, but it's not that big a deal because Uplay actually has a decent UI and actually has achievements built for each game, which unlocks stuff where you can unlock more stuff in the game, which I think is a really cool idea that no one else is doing right now.
Well, even if you had already purchased a title from Ubisoft, you probably had a Uplay account anyway, because even through Steam, it would basically side load in to that launcher, and then you would play it from there anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying, so I don't understand why people are so angry about. I understand, like, oh, I have to have something else on my computer, but literally, it's just PC people bitching about this. That is it. Yeah. Console gamers aren't worried about this because their shit is going to be in the box and it's not going to matter. So
I'm going to buy it on PS4 anyway. So
see, I'm going to get it on PC, but if it's crossplay, whatever, I can play with you guys, no problem. But I'm going to play. I only can really play shooters on PC, so that's really where I'm going with. But but I really don't see Epic Store going away because Fortnite isn't going away anytime soon. Maybe in a couple of years, sure. But Fortnite, I think they just teased that they're going to have a reverse gun game mode.
Oh yeah,
where you're like, it's just new features. It's so fresh every season, which is a month or so long.
Yeah,
they keep it so fresh. People are gonna keep coming back to the game no matter what comes out. Like Apex came out, that's already starting to lose numbers, and people are going back to Fortnite because it's always fresh, it's always new, it's always fast, and they're not afraid to do something silly like, hey, let's do a 50 versus 50. Who cares? Let's just open that map up. And I was like, oh shit, this is something new. I don't have to get my ass kicked by one dude. I can get 50 people trying to kick my ass. So one other coverage thing I've seen though lately is that just on the whole topic of Fortnite, that like their biggest streamer Ninja, he actually switched off from the game with a couple of their other top streamer over some patch controversy that just came through where they made some changes that the community didn't like. And so like even they're subject to that stuff. I don't think it's going to kill the game anywhere near, but I think they're still finally becoming subject to that kind of backlash that we've seen from other games, but still not to the extent that like anything else has come back at. Yeah,
like,
I agree. I know there's a lot of things that Epic Store needs to do to get on the same level as Steam. Well, they may never ever be Steam. I mean, they may in a year from now have better shit than what Steam has. Have better options for developers and gamers, so the consumers and the developers. So like Steam may fade out. We don't know. There may be a completely different other company comes in. Like say Google comes in. Hey, we'll give you 82% compared to what Epic will give you. Why don't you just give your shit to us? We'll have all back servers. We have all ours. We're Google. Like we're bigger than all you motherfuckers already. So why don't you just hop on our board? You have 99.9% uptime on all your games. You can play on any tablet. You're not locked down to a PC anymore. Why would you not do that? Like,
yeah, if they could get speeds to be easily accessible for that kind of stuff, or somehow make it, I guess, less costly to stream the stuff they need to stream. But
like everyone has a Google account. Every single person in the world has probably seen YouTube. Maybe not every single person, but majority of the world has seen YouTube, and they're gonna have a goddamn Gmail account. So there's no way that people are gonna be like, oh, I have to create a new account. Like, no, it should be seamless or something like that. Same thing, Apple. Apple users always have an Apple account. It should be almost a seamless transition if they're gonna start doing that type of streaming stuff.
Yeah, even Nintendo's simplified all their stuff to their like Nintendo ID accounts or whatever that you use to link to all their mobile applications or all their games or whatever to. If you can get in-game rewards and stuff like
which
that.
Which was a huge help, but they still have a goddamn friend code, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in gaming. I can't.
Yeah, friend codes make absolutely no sense anymore for Nintendo.
I don't believe that. Like, oh, we don't want little kids. Like, am I going to search, like, Mrs. Murphy's son in my friends list and try to find your neighbor's kid so I can peek? Like, what the fuck is... goddamn it, Nintendo.
Well, the weirdest thing about Nintendo is, like, they came up with this huge convoluted solution to use your phone for voice chat.
Oh,
and then Fortnite got on there and they're like, oh no, now you just plug in a headset and you can use voice chat on the Switch. It's like Fortnite really did turn a lot of gears that needed to be turned in the game industry. Like they really
got
on
cross-platform, trying to get Nintendo shit together, trying to get Sony shit together. One company, Epic, this fucking company, Epic, has changed the way gaming has been played just the last couple of years, which is insane.
Yeah.
Because everyone thought, oh, PUBG and H1Z1 is going to be, that's it. No one else is, there's no game's going to top this. And Fortnite comes out, and it's just, I don't know. It's
I played Fortnite when it was single player, and when they first launched that multiplayer, and it was a garbage mode, and everyone was like, "This is terrible. It's gonna be bad. The shooting's not as precise." It's like, now look, they're nowhere near precise shooting in that game, but it's exploded everywhere.
Yeah, that's not. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, we're over our hour mark.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to wrap up on? Anything we talked about? Epic Game Store. I think we went over everything.
Yeah, we already hit the Sekiro stuff too. So, or Sekiro.
Regardless, I'm gonna be buying it on Epic Game Store. Hell, I'm probably gonna be buying Satisfactory the next couple of days because that game looks fucking amazing, and I want to be able to build shit, and I want to be able to have robots run me over. Baba said he created a waypoint, and the robot ran him over and killed him. So I really want to see that happen live on stream.
I've already been on board with Epic. Like, I was already playing Paragon when that still existed and stuff like that. Like, I've been on their servers for a while now, and I'm definitely going to continue to buy stuff on there, I guess. It's not a big deal to me. I thought it was cool when they brought Hades on board and actually did an early access for Supergiant games and stuff. That was interesting, and I don't know. They're doing some interesting things. People don't want to give them the credit for that. They just want to be mad at them about everything.
They have money.
They have stuff to be mad at them about.
They have liquid assets that they can just drop. They can buy probably some of the people that work at Steam and say, hey, come make our shit better. So I finished I closed the poll. I closed the poll finally. I forgot all about it. I apologize. I put Epic Game Store, good or bad. The winner is don't care.
Well, the last thing I want to say about Epic is the other thing that changed my mind on them a little bit, as like they don't have to be a villain in this, is they did retroactively go back through all of the community creator stuff that they had built for their games and stuff. Like if you build Unity, or not Unity, UE, their Unreal Engine stuff, if you build assets and stuff for that, they went back and retroactively gave a better split to content creators in that. So they changed the content pricing split to be more in the favor of the content creators for that, for their community. And then they also retroactively changed that by going back and paying out for everything that had already existed in their store. Like, they didn't have to go back and do that. They did that because they had the Fortnite money, and it was just a good thing to do.
Yeah, they're just
like, there was
no right now.
Business-wise, the only good business move that is good PR, which is good, but
yeah,
saving money is also good for business. So it would have been just as easy to say, like, this is the new profit split. Anything you get from here is good, and still sound like a good guy. But to go back and give it back to the people that had already made stuff it's a little more telling of what the structure of that company was trying to be at the time.
This makes sense. So to wrap my end up, I feel like people are complaining because it's change, and a lot of people do not like change. They don't like updates in games. They will fight tooth and nail. They will call the arms. They will go on Twitter and bitch at whoever will listen to them. They'll create YouTube channels. They'll create shitty podcasts like this GameOctane company that's trying to run this podcast and just want to bitch about it for an hour. You're going to have people like that. And
shitty dudes on.
And people want a voice, and that's what the internet gives them. And a lot of times the voices are just complaining because they can complain and they're upset about something. And maybe they had a bad day at work. Maybe they got short on their french fries at Burger King or never got their onion ring in there. I'm sorry, I don't know. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. 2019 is going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year for us. To wind things up, I want to thank everyone again for all the support and the people that guest streamed. Some of you guys are in chat right now. During Metrovania Madness, it's the first time we've tried something like that. I know it felt unorganized because, god damn it, it was. We decided to do it like 4 days before March started.
Yeah, we slapped that calendar together quick, and it was.
So it was fun. If anyone has any ideas, someone mentioned having like a superhero September. So superhero or Lego September. So we just playing like Batman, and we're playing Lego games, and we're playing like Ultimate Alliance. Maybe out by then, so that'd be kind of cool.
If we do a Lego one, I'm doing Lego Worlds.
Oh yeah,
I have that game, and I haven't gotten to play enough of it. I need to play more of it.
So if anyone has any ideas, let me know. If you guys want a guest spot on our stream, let me know. I have no problem. We'll get you set up with the code. We'll get you overlays or something. We'll get you set up. But thank you guys so much for the support we've had so far in 2019. Like I said, this podcast, maybe monthly, maybe bi-monthly. We got to see how this goes. We can see how if it takes off, we'll do it. I'll do it every goddamn day if I have to. I'll just sit at home. I'll sit in my garage and record it off my phone. I don't care. I want to do what you guys want to see.
Post him. He's just gonna be in his garage talking on his phone or something.
I'm not even gonna record it. I'm just gonna yell at the garage. And I'll just let the neighbors hear me.
That's how you get your alone time. You just tell your wife that you're podcasting when really you're just going.
I'm gonna go change the oil in the car. I'm just gonna yell in my back seat about how Epic Game Store. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Again, I'm Klutz Leo, Jason Gerino. You can find me anywhere in the world at Klutz Leo, at Klutz Leo. Any distribution channel you want to go with, I can find me there. Where can you find you, Beau? How many names do you have hiding somewhere?
I have so many damn names. I'm working on unifying it. I swear I am. But I'm Beau Severson, Twitter, Beau Knows Games. I don't know. I'm just trying to use that everywhere. It seems a good fit. Plus, I've had enough of people constantly my whole life telling me Beau knows.
Hey, Beau Jackson. That's it.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that, though. Until you get better at Technobowl, though.
That's my hope. But it's also any game like Crunker.io. I'm actually Beau Knows Crunker.
Oh.
No, I think I'm actually just Beau Knows Crunk on that one, which I like.
So, Erwin, if you learned anything in this podcast, if you listen to anything, go to Crunker.io and play this goddamn game and look for Beau Knows Crunker. And it's stupid fun. It really is. Oh shit. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna kill the stream. We're gonna hit this outro. We're gonna probably have this on affiliates have to have 24 hours. We'll get it on YouTube starting tomorrow morning or tomorrow at 10:30 possibly PST, and then I'll get it uploaded into some sort of audio file somewhere, probably Podbean, so you guys can listen to it on the road. And I thank you guys so much. Hope to see you guys next time, and have a good night.
Yeah.